Hello, my good friends. How are you today? May God bless you all. I will not introduce anything. You guys watch the video and feel it. Then let's evaluate together. Detroit's got a heartbeat, raw and unapologetic, like it's daring you to keep up. Black Bottom was alive that night, its streets humming with jazz spilling from dive bars, murals splashing color on old brick walls. The gala at the Detroit Institute of Arts was my masterpiece. Every light, every note, every damn detail planned to raise money for kids' art programs. I was Sierra Rodriguez, 22, a black woman teaching kids to paint their dreams, now pregnant and tangled up with Nathan Brooks, a coder with big ideas and a broke-ass bank account. But in one gut-punch moment, his world crashed into mine, and the man I loved became the only thing standing between me and a threat I never saw coming. I'd been with Nathan for a year, ever since he spilled coffee all over my lesson plans at a community center. He was a mess back then, stained hoodie, 3-day stubble, living on ramen and hope in his mom's garage. But his laugh, his dreams about tech changing the world, hooked me. Now, his startup had just landed $15 million from some hotshot investor, Elaine Carter, and we were at this gala to celebrate. I was 5 months pregnant, my belly just starting to show under my emerald dress, feeling out of place among the suits and sequins. Nathan was in a rented tux, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else, but his hand was steady in mine, his brown eyes promising we'd get through this. Then, Elaine Carter made her move. She was all sharp edges, blonde bob, designer gown, eyes like a snake. I'd caught her sizing me up before, her smiles never reaching her face. Tonight, she cornered me by the dessert table, her voice low and venomous. "Sierra?" "Right," she said, loud enough for the nearby donors to turn. "You're Nathan's friend. Must be nice, riding his coattails now that he's got money." I froze, my cheeks burning, channeling my mama's voice. "Stand tall, baby girl. I'm his fiancé," I said, my voice steady, flashing the simple gold ring Nathan's grandma had given me. "And I don't ride anyone's coattails. I teach art, make my own way." She laughed, sharp and cold. "Cute, but let's be real. Sweetheart, you and that baby are a liability. Nathan's the next big thing. And you're, well, not exactly penthouse material." She slipped a folded note into my hand, her nails grazing my skin. "Read it. Think hard." I opened it, my hands shaking. Scrawled in black ink, "Leave him, or you and the kid are done." My heart stopped, the room spinning, jazz notes from the band turning sour. I looked up, and Elaine was gone, her perfume cloying, expensive lingering like a threat. The crowd's eyes were on me, whispering, judging, and I felt like I was drowning. Then Nathan was there, his face thunder dark, snatching the note from my hand. He read it, his jaw clenching, and before I could stop him, he stormed to the stage, grabbing the mic from the MC. "Listen up," he said, his voice booming, cutting through the chatter like a blade. "Elaine Carter thinks she can threaten my family." "Yeah," I said, "family. Sierra's my fiancée, carrying our kid, and she's worth more than every damn dollar in this room. Elaine, you want to play dirty? Fuck your money. I'm out." The crowd gasped, cameras flashing, and Elaine's face went pale, her wine glass trembling. Nathan dropped the mic, the thud echoing, and crossed to me, his eyes blazing but soft when they met mine. "We're leaving," he said, his hand on my arm, pulling me through a side door to a back alley behind the museum. The Detroit night was warm, thick with exhaust, and the faint scent of barbecue from a nearby joint. Neon signs buzzed, casting blue and red glows across the wet pavement, and a saxophone wailed from a bar down the street. I was shaking. The note's words, "You and the kid are done," looping in my head. Nathan turned to me, his hands cupping my face, his touch warm, grounding. "You okay, Sierra?" he asked, his voice rough, his eyes searching mine. "No," I said, my voice cracking, tears spilling. "She threatened our baby. Nathan, I can't raise our kid in this damn mess. We're done." "Done," he said, stepping closer, his cologne cedar and heat wrapping around me. "Hell no. Sierra, you're my everything. Elaine can burn. I'll protect you. I swear." His words hit hard, but fear was louder. I pushed against his chest, but he caught my hands, pulling me into him, and then his lips crashed into mine, desperate, hungry, tasting of bourbon and need. The neon lights flashed across his face, blue and red, like a fever dream, and his hands slid to my waist, pressing me against the brick wall, my belly between us. My breath hitched, a soft moan escaping as his lips grazed my neck, warm and fierce, the saxophone's wail blending with my pulse. The alley's hum cars, voices. Jazz faded, leaving just us. His heartbeat pounding against mine, his touch a promise and a plea. We pulled back, breathless, his forehead against mine, both of us trembling. "I love you," he whispered, his voice raw. "We'll figure this out." "I can't," I said, tears streaming, my hands on his chest, feeling his heart race. Not with threats, not with this life. "I'm going to Portland. Nathan, for Luna, for me." He froze, his eyes shattering, but he nodded, his hands falling. "I'll fix this," he said, his voice breaking. "I'll come for you." I turned, walking away, the neon lights blurring through my tears. His jacket still warm on my shoulders. I wanted to believe him. But the note in my pocket felt heavier than his promises, and I knew this was just the start of a storm we might not survive. Let's back up, because this didn't start with threats and neon kisses. It started a year ago, in a rundown community center in Black Bottom, where I was teaching kids to paint their dreams. I was 21, fresh out of college, living in a one-bedroom with my sister's old couch and a dream to make art matter. My mom had passed when I was 15, cancer stealing her too soon. But her gospel hymns, "His eye is on the sparrow," still lived in me, pushing me to keep going. My grandma, who'd raised me, taught me to see beauty in the ordinary, to paint the world as I saw it, and I poured that into my kids. Nathan walked in that day, a skinny coder with a beat-up laptop bag, looking for free Wi-Fi. He was a mess, coffee stains, bloodshot eyes, muttering about code like it was his religion. Then he knocked over my table, spilling coffee across my lesson plans, and I should have been pissed. But his panic was so damn cute. "Shit, I'm so sorry," he'd stammered, grabbing napkins like his life depended on it. I laughed, real and easy, and when our hands brushed, I felt a spark, like the world shifted. "I'm Sierra," I said, shaking his hand, his grip warm, lingering. "And you're the guy who owes me new paper." "Nathan," he said, grinning, his brown eyes crinkling. "And I'm usually less of a disaster. I swear." We talked for hours about art, tech, dreams bigger than Detroit. He was broke, but hungry, coding in his mom's garage, believing he could connect the world. I told him about my kids, how a paintbrush could save a soul. 3 days later, he called the center, nervous as hell, asking me to pizza. Our first date at Tony's was magic checkered tablecloths, mismatched chairs, and us talking till the place closed. We walked in the park, my hands cold, and he gave me his jacket, his smile making my heart skip. Those months were a blur of love. Friday markets where I picked wildflowers, Nathan carrying them like they were gold, notes he left on my car. Your laugh's my favorite code. Picnics with peanut butter sandwiches that felt like feasts. Our first kiss, paint on my nose, was soft, then deep, the sunset turning his eyes gold. When I told him I was pregnant, at a cabin by a lake, he spun me around, laughing, crying, promising we'd be a family. But that gala, Elaine's note, changed everything. And now I was walking away, my heart breaking with every step. The next morning, I sat in my apartment, the note crumpled in my hand, Jada's old couch creaking under me. Keisha, my best friend and the queen of a hair salon in West Village, was blowing up my phone. "You okay, girl? That Elaine bitch needs her ass checked." I laughed, but it hurt. Jada, my little cousin who lived with me, was asleep, her sketchbook open to a drawing of our future baby. "Luna, you're gonna be a badass mom," she'd said, hugging me after the gala. My phone buzzed. "Nathan, I'm not letting you go. Sierra, I'll fix this. I love you." I wanted to text back, to run to him. But fear was louder. Elaine's threat wasn't just words, it was a gun aimed at my kid, at us. I thought about my mom, how she'd fought for me, singing gospel through the pain, about my grandma, who'd painted murals in Black Bottom, teaching me to stand tall. They'd raised me to be strong. But strength meant protecting Luna, even if it meant breaking my own heart. I booked a ticket to Portland, to my sister's place, my hands shaking. Nathan's jacket was still on my chair, his scent clinging to it, and I held it tight, tears falling. This wasn't the end, I told myself. But as I packed, I wasn't sure I believed it. Detroit had given me love, but it had also shown me its cost, and I was already bracing for a fight I didn't know how to win. "So, what's your take, Will? Sierra hold on to Nathan, or will fear tear them apart?" Smash that subscribe button and drop a comment. Tell me what drama you want these two to face next. This is going to be one hell of a ride. Portland's got this vibe, like it's trying to be chill but can't hide its edge. The Alberta Arts District was alive that night. Murals glowing under streetlights, rain tapping the pavement like a heartbeat. The air smelled like wet asphalt and coffee from hipster cafes, with a faint hum of open mic poetry drifting from a bar. I was Sierra Rodriguez, 22, a black woman who'd left Detroit to keep my unborn daughter safe, now standing in my art studio, facing Nathan Brooks, the coder I loved, the man I was about to lose. That damn note from his investor had torn us apart. And tonight, I was breaking both our hearts to protect the life growing inside me. It had been 2 months since the gala in Detroit, since Elaine Carter's threat, "Leave him, or you and the kid are done," sent me running. I'd moved to Portland, crashing with my sister in a cramped bungalow, teaching art to kids to keep my head above water. My belly was bigger now, Luna kicking like she knew the world was a mess. Nathan's texts came daily. "I'm fixing this. Sierra, I love you, but I'd barely replied. Too scared to trust, too raw from the memory of that neon-lit kiss in the alley. Elaine's money had turned Nathan's startup into a rocket, but her claws were in him, and I wasn't letting my kid grow up under that shadow. He showed up unannounced, standing in the doorway of my studio, rain dripping off his jacket, his brown eyes haunted but burning. He looked different, still lean, still Nathan, but sharper, like the suits in boardrooms were carving him into someone new. I was in paint-splattered jeans, my braids loose, trying to act like my heart wasn't pounding. "Sierra," he said, his voice rough, stepping inside. The rain's patter loud behind him. "You can't keep dodging me. We need to talk." I crossed my arms, my guard up, the canvas behind me half finished. A mural of black resilience. "Talk," I said, my voice sharp. "You let that bitch Elaine threaten our baby. Nathan, what's there to say?" His jaw clenched, but he didn't look away. "I fucked up," he said, his voice low, raw. "I should have shut her down harder. Walked away from her money. But I'm here now, and I'm not losing you, not Luna." Hearing him say her name, Luna, the one we'd picked by that lake, hit me like a punch. "You don't get it," I said, my voice trembling, tears burning. "This isn't about you. It's about her. I can't raise our kid in a world where people send notes like that, where your fancy new life puts a target on us." He stepped closer, his cologne cedar and rain hitting me like a memory, his eyes pleading. "I'll protect you both," he said, his voice fierce. "I'm not just some coder anymore. Sierra, I've got power now. Money. I can keep you safe. Money." I laughed, bitter, stepping back. Money didn't stop Elaine's note. Money won't stop the next one. I need peace. Nathan. Not promises. He reached for me, his hand hovering, not touching, but close enough to feel the heat. "I love you," he said, his voice breaking. "You're my home. Sierra, you and Luna, marry me. Let's fight this together." My heart stopped. The ring in his pocket glinting as he pulled it out, his grandma's. Simple gold. The one he'd shown me months ago. The studio's lights flickered, casting shadows on his face, and the rain outside pounded like a drum. I wanted to say yes, to fall into him. But then I saw it, a new note, slipped under the door, the same black scrawl, "Stay away, or the kid pays." My blood went cold, and I shoved the note at him, my hands shaking. "See this?" I said, my voice rising. "This is your world now. Nathan, I'm not letting Luna grow up like this. We're done." "No," he said, grabbing my arms, his voice desperate. "Sierra, I'll burn it all down, Elaine. The money, everything. Just don't do this." But I was already breaking, tears streaming, my hands on my belly, feeling Luna kick. "I have to," I whispered, my voice cracking. "For her." He pulled me into him, his lips finding mine, and the kiss was a storm raw, hungry, tasting of coffee and rain, his hands cupping my face, my body pressed against his. The streetlights outside cast wet shadows through the window, gold and gray, dancing across his skin, and his breath was hot, a low growl escaping as my fingers dug into his shoulders. The rain's rhythm drowned out the world, my moan soft but desperate, and for that moment, I let myself love him, let the studio's hum paint, wood, art fade to nothing. His hands slid to my waist, careful of my belly, his kiss deepening, like he was trying to hold on to us, to stop time. We pulled back, breathless, foreheads touching, both of us crying. "I can't lose you," he said, his voice shattered, his hands trembling. "You already did," I said. Stepping back, the note crumpled in my fist. "Go, Nathan. Don't make this harder." He stood there, rain dripping from his hair, his eyes broken, then turned and walked out, the door slamming behind him. I sank to the floor, sobbing, the studio's lights buzzing overhead, Luna kicking like she felt my pain. I'd loved him with everything. But love wasn't enough when the world wanted to tear us apart. Let's rewind a bit, because this wasn't just about a note and a kiss. It started a year ago, in a community center in Detroit's Black Bottom, where I was teaching kids to paint murals that told their stories. I was 21 scraping by, my apartment a mess of art supplies and my sister's hand-me-downs. My mom's gospel Amazing Grace, sung in our tiny kitchen, kept me going. Her strength in me, even after cancer took her. My grandma, who'd raised me, painted with me in Black Bottom, teaching me to see beauty in cracked sidewalks, and I carried that into my work. Nathan stumbled in, a coder with a laptop bag and a caffeine addiction, looking for Wi-Fi. He knocked over my table, coffee soaking my lesson plans, and his panic was so damn endearing I couldn't stay mad. "Shit, I'm an idiot," he'd said, scrambling for napkins. And I laughed, our hands brushing, a spark igniting. We talked for hours about art, code, dreams bigger than our bank accounts. He was broke, living in his mom's garage, but his passion lit him up, and I was hooked. Our first date was pizza at Tony's, a hole in the wall with sticky tables, where we talked till midnight. We walked in the park, his jacket warm around me, his smile making my heart race. Fridays became ours farmers' markets, where I picked wildflowers, Nathan carrying them like treasure, notes he left in my purse. "Your smile's my best bug fix." Our first kiss, paint on my nose, was soft, then deep, the Detroit sunset turning his eyes gold. When I told him about Luna, at a cabin by a lake, he spun me around, promising forever. But Elaine's money, her threats, changed it all. And now I was in Portland, alone, my heart in pieces. The next morning, I stood in my studio, the note still in my pocket, Luna kicking like she knew I was falling apart. Keisha's text came through. "You really sent him packing. Damn, girl, that's cold. But I get it. Stay strong." My sister, Lena, was at work, leaving me with a quiet house and too many thoughts. I touched my belly, whispering to Luna, "We're gonna be okay, baby girl." But the truth, I wasn't sure. Nathan called, his voice hoarse. "Sierra, I'm not giving up. I'm coming to Portland. I'll fix this. I swear." I hung up. Tears falling, the rain outside mirroring my heart. I thought about my mom, how she'd fought for me, her gospel hymns a shield. About my grandma, who'd painted murals through pain, teaching me to stand tall. They'd raised me to be fierce, but fierce meant protecting Luna, even if it meant letting Nathan go. Then the door rattled, and another note slid underneath. Same black scrawl. "You were warned." My blood ran cold, and I grabbed my phone, dialing Lena. Portland was supposed to be safe, but Elaine's reach was long, and I was starting to think nowhere was far enough. Nathan's face broken. Desperate haunted me, and I wondered if I'd made the biggest mistake of my life, pushing away the man who'd fight for us, or if I'd saved Luna from a world that wanted to break us. Santa Fe's got this quiet fire, like it's whispering secrets in the desert wind. Canyon Road was a dream that evening, adobe galleries glowing under a sunset, that painted the sky in pinks and golds, the air thick with sage and turpentine from open studios. I was Sierra Rodriguez, 32 now, a black woman who'd built a life for my daughter, Luna, in Portland, far from the threats and heartbreak of Detroit. But Nathan Brooks, the coder I'd loved, the billionaire who'd left us, was back, standing in my Santa Fe gallery, his eyes begging for a second chance. 10 years had passed since I walked away, and tonight I was about to learn that love doesn't die, but trust that shit's harder to resurrect. It had been a decade since Portland, since that rain-soaked kiss and the note, "You were warned," that pushed me to cut Nathan loose. I'd raised Luna alone, teaching art, opening a small studio, pouring my soul into her and my kids. Luna was 10, a whirlwind of paintbrushes and big dreams, her sketches already winning awards. Nathan sent money every month, more than we needed, but his texts had slowed, then stopped, and I'd let him fade, telling myself it was better this way. Keisha, my best friend from Detroit, kept me grounded, her texts a lifeline. "You're a queen, girl. Fuck that rich boy." But when I saw Luna's drawing at a national exhibit, a charcoal sketch of a man she'd never met, labeled "The Man in the Photograph," I knew Nathan would come looking. And here he was. The gallery was mine for the weekend, a pop-up for my students' work. Murals of black joy and resilience lining the walls. I was in a flowy white top, paint smudges on my jeans, braids pulled back, when Nathan walked in, looking like money-tailored jacket, polished shoes, but his eyes were the same, brown with gold flecks, haunted and hungry. My heart stuttered, but I kept my cool, arranging paint cans like he wasn't shaking my world. "Sierra," he said, his voice low, rough, stepping closer, the scent of his cologne, cedar, and leather hitting me like a memory. I saw Luna's drawing. It broke me. "I need to talk." I crossed my arms, my voice sharp. "Talk." 10 years? "Nathan, you sent checks." "Sure, but you didn't show up. What's there to say now?" He winced, but his eyes didn't waver. "I fucked up," he said, his voice raw. "I let Elaine's threats scare me, let her world pull me away. But I never stopped loving you. Sierra, you and Luna, you're my heart. I want my family back." His words hit like a blade, cutting through the walls I'd built. "Family," I said, laughing, bitter. "You don't know Luna. You don't know me anymore. You chose your penthouse, your Forbes cover. We're fine without you." He stepped closer, his hands hovering, not touching, but close enough to feel the heat. "I'm not that guy anymore," he said, his voice fierce. "I've got billions. Sure, but it's empty without you. I see you. Sierra, your art, your strength, the way you raised our kid. Let me prove I'm worth it." I looked at him, the sunset streaming through the window, painting his face in gold. And damn if I didn't want to believe him. "Help me set up," I said, my voice steady, tossing him a paintbrush. "Words are cheap. Show me." We worked side by side, hanging canvases. The gallery quiet except for the hum of distant traffic and the creak of old floors. He was careful, focused, asking about each painting, listening like he used to when we were just kids with dreams. The air was thick with paint fumes and something else, tension. Memory. The pull we'd never shaken. I handed him a canvas, our fingers brushing, and it was like a spark, electric, his touch warm, lingering. The sunset's light caught in his eyes, gold and brown, and my breath hitched, my heart betraying me. "Hold still," I said, dipping a brush in blue paint, smudging it on his cheek, a playful move to break the moment. He laughed, grabbing my wrist, his grip gentle but firm, pulling me closer. "You're gonna pay for that," he said, his voice low, teasing, but his eyes were dark, hungry. He dipped his fingers in paint, streaking red across my forearm, and suddenly we were inches apart. The canvas forgotten. His hand slid to my waist, paint smudging, the air heavy with turpentine and desire. My lips parted, his breath warm against my cheek. And then he kissed me slow, deep, tasting of coffee and regret, his hands framing my face, my body pressed against his. The sunset's glow blurred through the window, pinks and oranges dancing on his skin, and a soft moan escaped me, igniting him, his kiss turning desperate, like he was trying to erase the years. The gallery's hum paint, wood, art faded, leaving just us, his heartbeat pounding under my fingers, a promise and a wound. We pulled back, breathless, paint smudged on our clothes, our faces. "Sierra," he whispered, his voice rough, his forehead against mine. I never stopped wanting this. Us. I stepped back, my heart racing, tears burning. "Wanting's not enough," I said, my voice shaky. "You left us. Nathan, you chose your world over ours. Luna doesn't even know you." His face crumpled, but he nodded. "I know," he said, his voice breaking. "But I'm here now. I'll do whatever it takes." Before I could answer, Keisha burst in, her braids swinging, her eyes narrowing at Nathan. "Well, damn, look who's back," she said, crossing her arms. "You think you can just waltz in after a decade? Rich boy Sierra's been raising Luna alone while you played CEO. Keisha," I said, warning. But she wasn't done. "Nah, girl, he needs to hear it," she said, glaring at Nathan. "You broke her heart. Left her to explain to Luna why her daddy wasn't there. You got billions, but you ain't got shit if you can't show up." Nathan didn't flinch, his eyes steady. "You're right," he said, his voice low. "I fucked up, but I'm not running anymore. I'm here for Sierra, for Luna, for as long as they'll let me." Keisha raised an eyebrow, looking at me. "Your call, Mara. But don't let him off easy." The night ended with Nathan helping me clean up, silent but steady. His presence a weight I couldn't ignore. Keisha left, muttering about rich boy bullshit, and I locked the gallery, Nathan waiting outside, his jacket slung over his shoulder. "Can I see you again?" he asked, his voice soft, vulnerable. "Maybe," I said. My voice guarded, but my heart was screaming yes. But it's not just about us. Luna's my world. You hurt her, and you're done. He nodded, his eyes raw. "I'll earn it," he said, and walked into the desert night, the sunset's last light fading behind him. The next morning, I found a note slipped under the gallery door, not a threat, but Nathan's handwriting, like the ones he used to leave. "You're still my muse, Sierra. Always will be." My heart twisted, and I tucked it in my pocket. Keisha's voice in my head, "Don't let him off easy." But then my phone buzzed a text from Malik, my co-worker in Portland, who'd been dropping hints about liking me for years. "Heard you're in Santa Fe. You okay? Want to grab coffee when you're back?" I stared at the screen, Nathan's note burning in my pocket, and felt the world shift again. Malik was safe, kind, steady, part of my Portland life, teaching art with me, understanding my world. Nathan was a storm billionaires, threats, a past that broke me. Santa Fe had shown me he still loved me, that I still loved him. But it also showed me the truth. Love wasn't enough without trust, and trust was a battle we'd barely begun. I thought about Luna, her drawing of a father she didn't know, and my mom, who'd sung gospel through pain, teaching me to fight. I wasn't sure if Nathan was my future or my biggest regret, but I knew one thing: I wasn't giving in without a fight. Memphis doesn't hold back. It grabs you by the soul and doesn't let go. Beale Street was electric that night, neon signs buzzing, blues riffs pouring from packed bars, the air thick with barbecue smoke and whiskey fumes. I was Sierra Rodriguez, 35, a black woman who'd built a life for my daughter. Luna, out of paint and grit. But Nathan Brooks, the billionaire who'd broken my heart, was back, fighting for us like he hadn't in a decade. I'd let him in, just a crack, in Santa Fe, but tonight, in Memphis. The world reminded me why trust is a luxury I couldn't afford, and love. That shit can burn you alive. It had been 5 years since Santa Fe, since that paint-smudged kiss in the gallery that left me shaking, Nathan begging for a second chance. I'd pushed him away, told him Luna and I were fine without him. But his notes kept coming, slipped into my mailbox. Tucked in Luna's art supplies, I'm still here. Sierra, always. I'd kept them, hidden in a box, my heart betraying me every time I read one. Luna was 15 now, a firecracker with her dad's stubborn chin and my love for art, her sketches winning national contests. I told her about Nathan bits and pieces, enough to explain the checks, the absence, but not the love, not the pain. When he invited us to a charity art auction in Memphis, a fundraiser for kids like mine, I said yes, against Keisha's warnings. Girl, you're playing with fire. I thought maybe, just maybe, we could find a way forward. I was wrong. The auction was at a swanky venue off Beale, all chandeliers and polished floors, but the blues band kept it real, their guitar wails cutting through the rich folks' chatter. I was in a black dress, my braids swept up, Luna beside me in a denim jacket, her eyes wide at the crowd. Nathan was there, no suit, just a dark shirt and jeans, his brown eyes finding me like a beacon. He looked older, lines around his eyes. But damn, he still made my heart skip. And I hated it. Sierra, he said, crossing the room, his voice low, warm, like we hadn't spent years apart. You look incredible. Luna, you're killing it. Luna smirked, tossing her braids. Thanks. Nathan, Mom says you're some big shot CEO. That true? He laughed, glancing at me. Your mom's the real big shot. I'm just trying to keep up. I rolled my eyes, but my stomach fluttered. His smile too familiar, too dangerous. The auction went smooth. Luna's painting, a vibrant mural of black joy, sold for 10 grand, and Nathan bid on it, his eyes on me, a quiet promise. After, he pulled us to a bar down Beale, a gritty spot with sticky tables and a band that played like they were bleeding. Dance with me, he said, holding out his hand, his voice a dare. I hesitated, Luna nudging me. Go, Mom, live a little. So I took his hand, his grip warm, steady, and we hit the dance floor. The blues riff slow and sultry, guitar notes curling like smoke. His hand slid to my hip, pulling me close, my body pressed against his. the neon lights pink, blue flashing across his face. His breath was hot against my ear. His cologne cedar and spice mixing with the bar's whiskey tang, and my pulse raced, a soft moan escaping as his fingers tightened, his lips grazing my temple. The crowd faded, the music a heartbeat, and for a moment, it was just us, moving like we'd never stopped, like 10 years hadn't carved us apart. "You're still it." "Sierra," he murmured, his voice rough, his eyes dark with want. "You and Luna." "I'm not giving up." I pulled back, breathless, my heart pounding. "Don't say shit you can't back up," I said, my voice shaky, but my body was screaming yes. Luna clapped from the bar, grinning, but then her face changed, her phone lighting up with a notification. She stormed over, shoving it at me, her eyes wet. "Mom, what the hell is this?" she said, her voice breaking. I looked at the screen, a tabloid article, fresh off the press, with a grainy photo of me and Nathan from the Detroit Gala. Years ago. The headline screamed, "Billionaire's baby mama, how Sierra Rodriguez milked Nathan Brooks for millions." The story claimed I'd trapped him with Luna, used him for money, and was back to cash in now. Quotes from Elaine Carter, his old investor, sealed the deal. She was always a liability, a distraction from his potential. Comments were brutal. Gold digger. She played him. No wonder he ditched her. My stomach dropped, the bar spinning, the blues riff turning sour. Luna's eyes locked on Nathan, furious. "Is this why you left us?" she yelled, tears streaming. "Because you thought we were some damn scam. You're my dad, and you let this shit happen, Luna." "No," Nathan said, his voice desperate, reaching for her. "It's a lie. Elaine's been gunning for me since Detroit. I didn't write this. I swear." "Then why's it out there?" I snapped, my voice shaking, shoving the phone at him. "Every time I let you in, Nathan, some fucking lie blows it up. My kid's crying. My name's trashed again. And you're standing here like it's nothing." "It's not nothing," he said, his voice breaking, stepping closer. "Sierra, I love you. I love Luna. I'll fix this, lawyers. Press, whatever it takes. Just don't shut me out. Fix it." I laughed, bitter, tears burning. "You can't fix 10 years. Nathan, you left us to deal with your world's bullshit. And now Luna's paying for it. We're done." Luna grabbed my hand, her voice small. "Let's go." "Mom." I nodded, pulling her toward the door, Nathan's face crumpling, his hands falling to his sides. The neon lights blurred through my tears, the blues riff chasing us out, and I felt like I was back in Portland, the rain-soaked note in my hand, breaking my own heart to save hers. I sat in our hotel room, Luna curled against me, her tears soaking my shirt. "Why does it hurt so much?" she whispered, her voice raw. "He's barely my dad, but I wanted him to be." "I know, baby," I said, stroking her hair, my heart splintering. "I wanted it too." Keisha called, her voice fierce. "That article's some shady-ass bullshit, Mara. Elaine's playing dirty, and I bet Malik's feeding her info. He's been too damn cozy lately." "Malik," I said, my stomach twisting. He'd been texting, offering coffee, support. But now I wondered, "You think he'd do that?" "Jealous types do dumb shit," she said. "But Nathan, he's been trying, girl. That gala stunt in Detroit. The auction tonight, he's showing up. What's your heart saying? It's tired, I admitted, my voice small. Tired of breaking. Then rest, she said. But don't let Elaine's lies win. You're Sierra Rodriguez. You don't fold. I thought about my mom, how she'd sung Ain't No Sunshine in our Detroit kitchen, her voice a shield against the world. About my grandma, who'd painted murals through pain, teaching me to stand tall. About Luna, whose art was her fight, her heart on every canvas. And Nathan, his dance, his promise. The way he'd looked at Luna like she was his world. But this article wasn't just words. It was a knife, cutting at my name, my kid, everything I'd built. The next morning, I took Luna to a blues jam on Beale, needing music to ground us. The band played Stormy Monday, and I closed my eyes, remembering Mom's voice, her strength. Luna sketched the crowd, her pencil flying, and for a moment, we were okay. But my phone buzzed a text from Nathan. I'm taking Elaine down. This ends now. I love you both. I didn't reply. But my heart tugged. The memory of his touch, his fight, burning in me. Then Malik called, his voice soft. Sierra, saw the article. You okay? Come back to Portland. I'm here. No drama. Just us. I froze. Keisha's warning in my head. Malik was safe art. Portland. A life without billionaire baggage. Nathan was chaos money. Lies. A past that kept hurting. Memphis had shown me he'd fight, but it also showed me the cost Luna's tears. My pride. A world that wouldn't let us be. I looked at Luna, her sketch capturing the band's soul, and knew I had to protect her. But at what price? Nathan's face broken, determined, haunted me. And I wondered if I was running from love or saving us from ruin. The blues played on, and I was standing at a crossroads with no map to guide me. Denver's got this crisp, wild edge, like it's half city, half mountain, daring you to breathe deeper. The Rhino Art District was alive that night. Murals blazing under streetlights, craft breweries humming with laughter, the air sharp with pine and hops. I was Sierra Rodriguez, 38. A black woman who'd built a life for my daughter, Luna, through art and grit. But Nathan Brooks, the billionaire who'd left us 18 years ago, was back, fighting for a second chance. Memphis had torn us apart, with Elaine's lies and Luna's tears. But in Denver, I was about to learn that love's not just about promises, it's about showing up when the world's on fire. And damn, Nathan was bringing the heat. It had been 3 years since Memphis, since that blues-soaked dance and the article Billionaire's Baby Mama that ripped my name to shreds and broke Luna's heart. I'd cut Nathan off, gone back to Portland, telling myself we were better without him. Luna, now 18, was headed to MIT for architecture, her art still carrying the pain of a father she barely knew. Keisha, my ride or die, kept me sane. Her texts blunt Elaine's a snake. But Nathan's been fighting for you. Don't be a damn fool. Nathan hadn't stopped donating to my art programs, sending Luna sketchbooks with notes I'm proud of you. Kid, I'd ignored him. But when he invited us to a fundraiser in Denver, a scholarship for black artists named after me, I couldn't say no. Luna pushed me, Mom. Let's hear him out. I'm not a kid anymore. The event was at a warehouse-turned-gallery in Rhino, all exposed brick and neon signs. The crowd a mix of hipsters, artists, and 5 Points locals. I wore a red jumpsuit, my braids loose. Luna beside me in a leather jacket, her eyes curious but guarded. Nathan was on stage, no suit, just a dark sweater, his brown eyes finding me like a lifeline. He looked worn lines deeper, hair graying, but his voice was steady, raw, cutting through the chatter. "This fun's for Sierra Rodriguez," he said, the mic amplifying his words, the crowd hushing. "She's the strongest woman I know, an artist who raised a daughter alone, built beauty from nothing. 18 years ago, I fucked up, let fear and lies spread by people like Elaine Carter take her from me. That article in Memphis, a lie. I've got proof, and I'm clearing her name. This fund isn't an apology. It's a vow to lift up dreamers like her, like Luna. I'm here. Sierra, for you, for our kid, for as long as you'll let me." The crowd erupted, but I was frozen, his words a tidal wave crashing over me. Luna squeezed my hand, whispering, "Damn, Mom, he's serious." My heart pounded, tears prickling, but my guard was up, the scars of Memphis still raw. Nathan stepped off the stage, walking straight to me, ignoring the cameras, his eyes locked on mine. "Can we talk?" he asked, his voice low, his cologne cedar and smoke wrapping around me like a memory. I crossed my arms, my voice cold. "A speech doesn't fix 18 years. Nathan, Luna cried herself to sleep in Memphis, and I'm still cleaning up your mess. You don't get to play hero now." "I'm not a hero," he said, stepping closer, his eyes raw. "I'm a man who lost everything that mattered. I love you, Sierra. I love Luna. I'll spend my life proving it, if you let me." His words shook me, but fear was a bitch, whispering memories of threats, lies, heartbreak. "I need time," I said, my voice trembling. "This isn't just about us. Luna's my heart, and she's been hurt enough." He nodded, his jaw tight, his eyes soft. "Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere." We left the gallery, walking to 5 Points, Denver's black cultural hub, where a gospel pop-up was in full swing, voices soaring with "Oh Happy Day." Luna joined the crowd, sketching the singers, her pencil flying, while Nathan and I wandered to a quiet corner near a mural of black pioneers. The night was cool, the city's lights twinkling below, the wind carrying pine, and the faint hum of the choir. He was close, his shoulder brushing mine, and the air crackled, like it always did with him. "You didn't have to name the fund after me," I said, breaking the silence, my voice softer now. "It's a lot." "You're a lot," he said, his voice low, turning to me, the mural's colors red, gold reflecting in his eyes. "You raised Luna, built a studio, changed lives. I'm just trying to catch up. Sierra." His words hit deep, and I let my guard slip. Just a fraction. "Why now?" I asked, my voice raw. "After all these years, why fight so hard?" "Because I woke up," he said, stepping closer, his hand brushing my cheek, his touch warm, sending a shiver through me. I saw Luna's drawing, realized I'd missed her whole damn life. I look at you, and I see the woman I never stopped loving, the one I failed. I'm done failing. Sierra. The wind picked up, the choir's harmony swelling, and I couldn't hold back. I leaned in, my lips finding his, and the kiss was fire deep, desperate, tasting of mint and need. His hands sliding to my waist, pulling me close. The city's lights blurred into streaks of gold. The wind's howl a distant pulse, and his breath was hot, a soft growl escaping as my fingers tangled in his hair. My body pressed against his, a moan slipping from me, igniting him, his kiss turning fierce, like he was reclaiming every lost year. The mural's colors danced behind us, the gospel notes a heartbeat, and for that moment, I let myself love him, let the pain fade. We pulled back, breathless, his forehead against mine, both of us trembling. "I'm trying, Nathan," I whispered, my voice shaky. "But it's hard." "I know," he said, his voice rough, his hands still on me, grounding me. "I'll wait. I'll fight. Whatever you need." We sat on a bench, the night wrapping around us, and I opened up. I told him about Luna's first painting, how she'd drawn a family with a missing dad, her eyes asking questions I couldn't answer, about my mom, who'd sung Wade in the Water in our Detroit church, her voice a lifeline, about my grandma, who'd cooked collard greens with love, teaching me to hold my head high. He listened, his hand brushing mine, his eyes never wavering, and I saw the man who'd loved me in Detroit, not the billionaire who'd left. But then I dropped the bomb. Malik proposed, I said, my voice barely audible, watching his face for a reaction. His eyes darkened, his jaw clenching. What he said, his voice low, like he was swallowing a storm. "Last month," I said, looking at the mural, avoiding his gaze. "He's safe. He's been there, teaching with me, helping with Luna. He fits my world. Nathan." Nathan leaned forward, his hands gripping the bench, his voice tight. "And me?" he asked, his eyes burning. "What am I to you?" "Sierra." I met his gaze, tears spilling. "You're everything," I admitted, my voice breaking. "But you're also pain. Every time I let you in, something breaks Luna's heart, my trust. I don't know if I can survive you again." He took my hand, his fingers trembling but firm. "I'm not him," he said, his voice fierce. "I'm not safe. Maybe, but I'm yours. I'll fight for you, for Luna, for every damn thing you love. I love you, Sierra, and I'll prove it." I didn't answer, but I squeezed his hand, a lifeline in the chaos. Luna ran over, her sketchbook clutched tight, grinning. "Y'all good?" she asked, eyeing us. "Working on it," I said, forcing a smile. But my mind was spinning. Malik's proposal was a safety net, a world I knew art, Portland, no billionaire drama. Nathan was a fire love, risk, a past that still bled. Denver had shown me his heart, but it had also shown me the cost of loving him. Later, I called Keisha, needing her clarity. "Malik's a snake," she said, her voice sharp. "He's been cozy with Elaine's team, feeding her dirt. Nathan's been burning bridges to fix this. Girl, he tanked a deal to be there tonight. What's your heart saying?" "It's scared," I admitted, my voice small, but it's loud. "Then listen," she said. "You're Sierra Rodriguez. You don't run from loud." I thought about Luna, her drawing of a father she longed for, now meeting the man who wanted to be him. About my mom, who'd faced cancer with gospel and grit, teaching me to fight. About Nathan, his kiss, his vow, his fight to clear my name. Denver had given me a glimpse of what we could be. But Malik's ring was a shadow, a choice I couldn't ignore. I was standing at a crossroads, and the next step would change everything. Miami's got this pulse, like it's dancing to a beat you can't ignore. Wynwood Walls was alive that night, murals bursting with color under neon lights, salsa music spilling from nearby bars, the air thick with salt, rum, and spray paint. I was Sierra Rodriguez, 40, a black woman who'd fought through threats, lies, and heartbreak to build a life for my daughter. Luna, Nathan Brooks, the billionaire who'd left us 18 years ago. The coder who'd stolen my heart was back, proving he was worth the risk. Denver had shown me his fight. But in Miami, I was ready to choose love. No matter how damn wild it felt, this was our forever, and I was all in. It had been 2 years since Denver, since that gospel-lit kiss and Nathan's vow to clear my name. Those years were a whirlwind. I'd wavered, torn between Nathan's fire and Malik's safe proposal, a life in Portland with no billionaire baggage. But Malik's ties to Elaine's lies leaking info for that Memphis article showed his truth, and I'd sent him packing, choosing my heart over my head. Nathan didn't let up. He'd tanked deals to be there for Luna's MIT send-off, funded my art programs without fanfare, and showed up for Sunday dinners, learning my mom's jollof rice recipe like it was his religion. Luna, now 20, was thriving, her architecture designs winning awards, and she'd started calling Nathan Dad, a word that broke and healed us, when he invited us to an art festival in Miami, a showcase for Luna's work. I knew it was more than a trip. He had that look nervous, hopeful, the same one from our first pizza date in Detroit. The festival was at Wynwood Walls, an open-air gallery where murals told stories of struggle and joy. The crowd a mix of locals, tourists, and Overtown artists. I wore a white dress with gold accents, my braids adorned with beads, feeling like I could take on the world. Luna was in a denim skirt, her sketchbook tucked under her arm, grinning as her mural, a vibrant tribute to Black resilience, drew gasps. Nathan was there. No CEO polish, just a black shirt and jeans. His brown eyes locked on me, gold flecks catching the neon glow. He looked like home. And damn if it didn't scare me and thrill me all at once. "Sierra," he said, crossing the crowd, his voice low, warm, like we'd never been apart. "You're stealing the show, as always. Luna, you're a fucking rock star." Luna laughed, nudging him. "Thanks, Dad. But Mom's the real deal. Don't mess this up." He grinned, glancing at me, a secret in his eyes. "No chance of that, kid." The showcase was a hit. Luna's mural sold for 20 grand. And Nathan bid on it, his eyes on me. A quiet vow. After, he pulled us to a rooftop bar overlooking the ocean. Salsa beats pulsing, fairy lights twinkling like stars. Luna was off dancing with some art students, leaving us alone. The night warm, the breeze carrying salt and possibility. Nathan took my hand, his grip steady, and led me to a quiet corner, where a small setup waited a blanket, a lantern, and Luna's sketch. Framed the man in the photograph, her childhood drawing of Nathan, now with a new title. My dad, finally here. My breath caught, tears prickling, and I turned to Nathan, who was watching me, nervous but sure, his hands shaking just a little. "Sierra," he started, his voice rough, stepping closer, the ocean's murmur fading behind him. I spent 18 years chasing the wrong things. Money, status, a life that meant nothing without you. You're my heart, my muse, the woman who taught me love's worth fighting for. Luna's my pride, and you're my home. I don't want my world, or yours. I want our world, together. He dropped to one knee, pulling out a ring, his grandma's gold band, reset with a diamond that matched my eyes, glinting under the neon lights. The stars above were endless. The salsa beat a distant pulse, and the lantern's glow danced across his face. His eyes locked on mine. "Marry me, Sierra," he said, his voice breaking. "Not for the past, but for now, for forever. Marry me, because I love you, because Luna's our miracle, because you're my everything." Tears spilled down my cheeks, my heart so full it hurt. Luna was watching, grinning, holding a sign, "Be my dad." For real in glittery letters. I was back in Detroit, coffee soaking my plans, Nathan's laugh stealing my heart. In Portland, rain and pain tearing us apart. In Memphis, Luna's tears breaking me. But here, in Miami, I saw our future messy, real, ours. "Hell yes," I said, laughing through tears, my voice shaky. "Yes, Nathan, yes." He slid the ring on, his hands trembling, and stood, pulling me into a kiss that stopped the world. His lips were warm, fierce, tasting of rum and forever. His arms wrapping me tight, like he'd never let go. The neon lights pink, blue blurred into streaks, the ocean's waves a steady heartbeat, and his breath was hot. A soft growl escaping as my fingers dug into his back. My body pressed against his, a moan slipping from me, igniting him, his kiss deepening, hungry but tender, like he was sealing every promise we'd made. The salsa beat pulsed around us, the salt air wrapping us tight, and for that moment, we were infinite. We pulled back, breathless, laughing, Luna cheering like a damn fool, running over to hug us. "You're stuck with us now, Dad," she yelled, and Nathan ruffled her hair, his eyes wet, grinning like a kid. The wedding was 3 months later, in a historic church in Overtown, Miami's Black Heart, where gospel voices sang, "Oh Happy Day," shaking the rafters. The pews were packed. Keisha, in a yellow dress, winking as maid of honor, Luna, leading a hip-hop dance down the aisle. My sister, Lena, crying happy tears. I wore a cream gown with gullah embroidery, a nod to my grandma, my braids adorned with flowers. Nathan was in a simple tux, no tie, his eyes glistening as I walked toward him. We jumped the broom, a tradition my mom loved, sealing our bond with history and hope. Elaine showed up, uninvited, lingering at the back, her designer suit out of place. I braced for drama, but I was done shrinking. I walked over, my gown swishing, and said, "Thanks for coming, but this is our day. Leave." She stammered an apology. I was wrong. Sierra. I wanted control, and left, her heels clicking defeat. Keisha high-fived me, laughing. "That's my Queen. Malik sent a card. No hard feelings. Settled with someone new. He'd misjudged us, and I let it go." Nathan's mom, a teacher who'd climbed her own ladder, hugged me tight, whispering, "Your family, always." His dad, gruff but kind, nodded approval. And I saw Nathan in them, real. Despite the billions. That night, we danced under string lights. Soul food on every table, mac and cheese. Collards, my mom's jollof rice. Nathan pulled me close, whispering, "You're my home, Sierra," and I kissed him. The gospel choir hitting a high note, the crowd cheering. Later, in our hotel room, the ocean glittering below, we lay tangled together, his fingers tracing my skin, talking about the future, a house in Detroit, Luna's MIT projects, me opening a new studio. I'd started painting again, murals like my grandma's, and Nathan was there, cheering, always, looking back. I thought about that coffee-soaked day in Detroit, the spark that started it all, the threats, the lies, the years apart they'd broken us, but they'd also made us stronger. We weren't perfect. We'd still face whispers, worlds that didn't fit. But we faced them together, rooted in love, trust, and the fire we'd never lost. My studio was thriving. Nathan's company was shifting to serve communities like mine, and Luna was designing buildings that told our stories. The morning after the wedding, I stood on our balcony, watching the Miami sunrise, Nathan's arms around me. "You happy?" he asked, his voice soft, his breath warm against my neck. "Happier than I ever dreamed," I said, turning to kiss him, slow and deep, the city waking below. We'd built something real, not a fairy tale, but a love that bridged our worlds, forged in coffee, paint, and second chances. So, what do you think? Did Sierra and Nathan earn their forever? Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. Share your favorite moment or what love story you want next. Thanks for riding with us. It's been one hell of a journey.